All right, guys. Second to last round of fixtures this weekend. It's a weird one because the FA Cup final is also in the middle of it. So it's spread out over 4 days, but nothing on Monday. It's weird. But let's dive right in to round 37, and maybe we'll talk about that FA Cup final between City and Palace if we're really feeling like it. But before we do, my name's James. I support Arsenal. That guy is Brad. He supports Chelsea. Down below is Sean. He supports Tottenham. This is Red Card Radio. We're a weekly look at the Premier League. We all support different clubs, and that's what we think that keeps it a little bit fresh around here. If you're new here, if you just stumbled across us, we really appreciate that you clicked on the video or the podcast. If you could hit that subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell so you can be alerted to our twice weekly upload schedule, where we review and preview the Premier League for you throughout the week. So yeah, this one's you guys both have interesting matches on Friday, because you would expect Brad for 16th place Manchester United just roll over for 5th place Chelsea, right?
Yeah, 100%.
But
But
but will they?
yeah,
Oh,
100%.
okay. All right. Well, not
Just
interesting
kidding.
then.
No, look, it became interesting, um, because, you know, of a
Elbow?
solid elbow drop. Yeah, yeah, and I don't know if Goy is gonna be healthy to start up top for us, so this might be a Pedro Neto at the 9 type of night. Um,
Do you
Madueke on the right, and I guess Sancho on the left, or George on the left. Let's do it.
Well,
I'm here for Tyreek George.
Sancho can't play in this match because
Oh,
he's on
true.
loan.
So I guess it's gonna be maybe George up the middle. Neto stays on the right. Madueke stays on the left. Is my guess.
Do you guys think that Ruben Amorim's comments after the game against West Ham, where he was really fired up about how poorly they played, do you think that will play a role into the motivation of United? Or do you think that they're all checked out for everything except for the final?
They do not care because he's had the same speech since he's gotten there. He's like, "Hey, the players aren't right. The players aren't playing well. They continue to play poorly. They can't play my style of football."
Yeah, but
Right. So like
it
this
seemed
this
more
isn't
than
the
that this time. It seemed more like, look, like none of us like are guaranteed to be here. Like I could be fired, things like that. Like we are not doing even the basics right. It seemed more along that line than like the old like, oh, it's going to take time for us to get things right. I don't know. That was just my read of it.
sure, maybe it was more harsh because West Ham, and you would expect at least a point out of West Ham. Um, but like, no, I don't think it changes anything. Apparently, Bruno might be off to Saudi.
I mean,
That's the
the
rumor going
the
around.
problem is that Manchester United desperately need money, and if Bruno
Yes,
Fernandes is their most marketable asset, and you could get 120 million for him to go to Saudi Arabia, and then you get 30 million for Anthony, you know, maybe you start
40
developing.
for Rashford.
Yeah, maybe 40 for like you could build up. I mean, hopefully you can convince. I have a buddy who is a Manchester United supporter at church, and I was talking to him about how at the end of the season, after the final, you look at Casemiro and say, how would you like to arrive in Saudi Arabia? Would you like the train? Would you like a boat? Would you like to fly? We'll take you there right now. How is it that we facilitate you to Saudi Arabia, to Casemiro, the day after the final? Because he's another one that they need to move on. Um, but I think the reason why I think this game is actually interesting because United like they probably put a lot of energy, emotional energy into the cup semifinal, even though they had basically secured their passage. You still had to have to get up for that, and so the Thursday Sunday rat race of, and I know that Chelsea also deal with that as well, but the Thursday Sunday rat race of the Europa League and Premier League is tough, and especially when you're in a semifinal, you exert a lot of emotional energy into that. And so they were probably always going to be flat against West Ham, and they were, and they lost. But now they've had a week, and they're really gearing up. All of the players are going to be like, I want to play in the final. And so I think that they're going to be showing Amarim and trying to convince Amarim that, yeah, I'm in form. Yeah, I want to play in the final. And so I think that you're going to see a different Manchester United team this weekend than you did against West Ham last weekend.
I just
And they're away from home, because sometimes Old Trafford can get toxic. And so getting away from to Old Trafford, it can also get very wet at
sure
Old Trafford.
we've been very, very good at home
Sure,
recently.
that's fine. Yeah.
Like I don't think our last loss, like we drew Ipswich. That's our worst result. Uh, yeah, since what? Shoot, I'm back to February and we hadn't lost at home. So like that's why I'm comfortable.
Okay.
Not necessarily comfortable. I think I'm not mad at this.
What
Last
about
time we lost was Boxing Day against Fulham.
what about Aston Villa, Sean? You going down to Villa Park? You guys just gonna roll over, take loss number 21, and call it a
No.
weekend?
Nope.
Yeah. Don't put any eggs in that basket, Brad. That's not happening, my man.
You're wrong, bro. Son wants to show that he deserves to play in the final. He wants to match his brother Harry Kane, so he's gonna come out there and bag 2 goals. That way, everybody else can relax, and then they're ready for the final.
Son just came off of injury, so
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's got to get his line in on the goal, so he knows how to shoot for the final.
Probably won't
Y'all gonna
play.
walk up. This is gonna be a 0-1 because hey, listen. Every time you say it's a Spursy result, whatever way you say the Spursy result's gonna go, it's the opposite. So yeah, you're right. Spurs are losing.
It can't be a 0-1 if Son gets 2 goals. By the way, just if you're keeping score at home.
Listen, yeah, but last time you said there'd be a Spursy result was they were going to beat Chelsea because nobody expected it.
Yeah.
So what if this is the Spursy result and they beat Villa because nobody's expecting
Yeah,
it?
but Brad, you forget Unai Emery's ability to bottle the league when it's all on the line. Like Unai Emery has a little bit of a track record of just kind of fluttering at the end and the wheels falling off the bus. Oh, that's what you're saying. I'm making the argument for you. Yeah, sorry.
Yes, that adds to this miraculous Spurs victory.
I stopped listening to you midway through your statement because I was thinking because I was thinking about where we were going next in the podcast, and then I had that thought about Unai Emery, and I was like, oh, this is a really good counterpoint. It's gonna hit really well. It's gonna be a good like cross play between the opposing opinions, and turns out it was the same opinion.
The thing that because it'll be a week, right? Yeah. The math lines up. Okay, because we don't play on Friday. We play on Friday, so it'll be more than a week between the games from Thursday to Sunday. We made 9 changes with the lineup, including the goalkeeper. So, and I didn't mind getting Kinski a little run. He's not a bad goalkeeper, I don't think. I don't think he played poorly against Palace either. But I think what I'm getting at is I think with more than a week rest, you will probably see, as best we can without considering injuries, you will probably see the lineup that's going to play against United, I would imagine, against Villa.
Did the Premier League move these matches forward to accommodate them in the
I
final?
think so.
Interesting.
I think so.
I assumed it was 2 random games that they moved forward to Friday because the FA Cup is on Saturday. The FA Cup is on Saturday, right? I just want to make sure I'm not making that up.
I don't know why they moved forward because we're the following Saturday, correct? I believe that's.
We're on the 28th. We're 3 days after Sunday is the final for the Conference League.
Europa League is on the 21st. Conference League is on the 28th. Champions League is like June 1st or 31st. So
with the 21st, we play the Europa final on a Wednesday. Is this real?
Yep.
Yeah, we play it on a Wednesday too. So great time. Yeah, I don't know why they moved us forward.
Well, they can't.
No. They
because
moved. Sorry, it's not of us. It's because they moved United forward.
Yes, exactly. They moved United, and the reason why it can't be next Saturday, Sean, is because the Premier League has an embargo on the final match day of the week. Like the Premier League is like, we have all 10 of our matches kicking off Sunday at 10 o'clock, and we're not moving any of them. So don't try and schedule a European final on the same day as us, because they won't.
He means 11. He means 11 o'clock. He means 11
sorry.
o'clock.
Okay, 11 o'clock. Sorry, who knows?
And I think the Bundesliga is
The same way.
Saturday.
Yeah. So I think that
Well,
UEFA just know better.
Well, then I take everything back. You may see something that more similarly resembles what we played against Palace then. I don't know, because we sat Romero, we sat Van de Ven, we sat Vicario. Most of the midfield switched around. Kulusevski came off injured, but he played. Madison didn't play. Johnson didn't play. I mean, Udogie didn't play. It was I think Porro and Bentaker were the only one, or maybe Tell were the only two that played against that played in Norway and played against Palace.
Yeah.
So,
other interesting fixtures coming up this weekend. Arsenal host Newcastle. Will Newcastle do the quadruple over Arsenal this year and beat Arsenal 4 times?
Nope.
I think Brad is just living on hopium right now.
All the hopium. Keep pumping it into me. No, no. Again, listen. Hey, Sean, I forgot to say this. Y'all can get a point off of Villa. I'm cheering for the Spurs to lift their first trophy in years.
Oh, it's a quid pro quo.
16 years. 16 years. I will cheer for Spurs against United. Y'all can get this point.
It's not that serious, Brad. Just
I don't know.
If you guys just win, it doesn't. You don't need to give him anything.
Listen, and James, I'll cheer for y'all this weekend. I wouldn't say a final, but there isn't one. Maybe next year, maybe next time you guys are in the cup final, it's not against Chelsea. I'll pull for you guys. Just get the job done against Newcastle.
I'm rooting against you in the cup final. I don't even know. You guys are playing Betis? Real Betis?
Yeah.
Oh, Anthony hat trick. Let's go.
Hey, listen, tornadoes down the right?
Yeah, there we go. Spinning tops.
But listen, that's fine. That's fine. I just need y'all to get some points this weekend. That's all. Need both y'all to get some points this weekend. Can we manage that?
Yeah, don't get your hopes up, man. Newcastle are in very good form, and Arsenal are, I think, the worst team in the top 6 right now over the last 10 weeks or something, 10 match days. We have some terrible number of points. It's really bad. So I wouldn't get your hopes up, because Newcastle are strong right now. And like you said, Arsenal are going to be without their best striker. He's suspended. He's suspended in this match, picking up a second yellow card. So,
Calafiori hat trick.
Yo,
show Isak how it's done in the middle.
I'm actually here for the Calafiori center forward game plan. I'm actually here for it. I think it would be hilarious to see him line up as the 9. It's not even as a false 9, because he's not technical. Well, maybe he is technical enough. I don't know. I was gonna say he's not as technical as Marino on the ball in order to kind of be a false 9 in that sense. And so, but it's gonna be Trossard, Martinelli, Saka across the top. Let's not confuse ourselves. So it's gonna be Trossard as the false 9, which is missed opportunity, Arteta. You gotta play Calafiori, man. I know you're listening right now. You got a couple days before Sunday, and you're still thinking of Calafiori is the truth. Play him as the 9.
Left backs unite. Let's go. Left back to FC.
Yeah, you play Tierney. Maybe put Miles Lewis Skelly in the midfield.
Next is Zinchenko.
Yeah, man. Just get them all out there. There. What else is happening this weekend? Oh, the FA Cup final. All right, who do you guys got? Got City versus Palace from Wembley Stadium.
Palace, let's go.
Is that a real pick, Brad, or is that just a heart pick?
The way Palace has been playing, I actually think it's possible.
Yeah.
And I don't think City really cares. Right? Yes, it's a cup final, sure. But how many cup finals have they won? And this season's been the season of City not getting up for anything.
I guess it really depends on if Palace play football or not,
Well, it is dependent on what they're willing to do. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, but isn't Glasner being looked at by Levy to take over for Ange when he sacks Ange at the end of the year?
I have not heard that rumor if
Oh,
that's true.
I have.
What do you mean at the end of the year? He's gonna be sacked on May 20th. He's gonna be sacked 1 week from when we're recording.
There's no way that Levy sacks him. But you mean the day after the final?
No, the day before the final. Come on now.
There's no way.
He has the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever.
He's not going to.
I'm just saying. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Ryan Mason leads Spurs out for the Europa League final against Manchester United?
Invert the wing will be very quiet on Twitter that night. All right, let's look at these picks from last week. So it was a terrible week for you, Sean.
I know.
Awful.
Dang.
Sean put up a 1 spot. Brad put up a 4. Jimmy put up a 3. Big ups to Chap. He got the most at 5. So when we look at the overall standings, it does tighten up a little bit between Brad and Sean. Obviously, now we have a tie for second. So Sean has been a
little bit tight.
Sean's been caught by Brad. Now Jimmy and Jack have a little bit of breathing room. I don't know if either one of you guys are going to make up 4 points over the course of 20 picks.
Hey,
you got 20 picks to do it.
Sean had a 1-bagger. Jimmy could have a week with a 1-bagger, and then it's my championship again. I
think my one statement to you, Jimmy and Jack, is to just take chalk. No hinky picks. Don't go out on a limb and pick someone weird. Just make sensible picks and don't let Brad back into this. That's all I'm saying.
Sneaking in right at the end, just like I said I would.
I'm going to lose my stuff if this happens. But what you can do, if you're curious about what we're talking about right now, every week for the entire season, we've been making picks and putting them on our Discord. You can join that. It's in the description of this video or the podcast. And you could also select picks as who you think is going to win, if there will be any draws in the week. And you get this submitted before the week starts or after. We don't really care. Scouts honor kind of thing. And we'll add your name to put your name on a column, put your picks on there, and we'll see how many you get right. We'll also give a pick percentage essentially. And so we'll see how accurate you are. Right now, obviously, Jimmy, I think, is doing the best for people who have a large pick set. We did have some people make some one-off picks and have some high percentages, but we're kind of discounting those. But anyone who over 200 picks or so for the week, we got a couple people over 50%, which is quite impressive. So you'll want to do that. Get your picks in on our Discord. Hit us up on social media. Brad, that's at KS Brad G. Sean is at Whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. Collectively, we can be reached at redcard_radio. I hope you enjoy the football this weekend. It's the second to last weekend in the Premier League. You got the FA Cup final, and then you got European finals rolling through. So it's a good time to be watching football, but it's kind of a melancholy time as well. But hopefully you can enjoy it while it's still here before we all have summer lack of football depressive syndrome. But comes every year and it goes every fall. So we will talk to you soon. Hope you enjoy it. We'll be back next week. And we hope you have a good weekend.